Morning, all. All right, so preview and news video start things off for your Monday, May the 13th. Starting off with Vancouver Canucks news. So Soucy has a hearing, meaning he's going to get suspended for the cross check on McDavid, which was just stupid. There's no way for me to put it other than, what are you doing? And that's outside of Zadorov's antics last night, where I was like, why are you taking bad penalties? Why must you do this? But Zadorov's been fined for cross checking McDavid as well, so. I understand like the Canucks getting frustrated here and there, but you won the game and you need to win the next two games in all likelihood, at least two games in this series at the very least if you want to move on to the next round. And this just doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. So for fans who wanted to see Cole come out of the lineup, it's not going to happen. For Oiler fans that are saying, well, this is going to wake up a giant, look out. The Oilers outshot the Canucks last night 306-4. So I don't know what more can be done as long as Shelov's is the starter. And am I saying the Oilers are going to bump the goalie? They'll probably try to get in his face and try to throw him off his game. But honestly, I don't know. Shelov's just seems to have nerves of steel out there. We'll see what happens in the next game. I do expect Zadorov to get challenged to a fight. I'm going to say it's by Corey Perry. And we'll see what happens from there. In the least surprising news on the board in some time, Craig Berube has been interviewed for the coaching job with the Toronto Maple Leafs. All right, just checking on what the Rabbits eating. It's just cardboard over there. It's fine. It's fine. Rabbits eat cardboard. It's fine. But at any rate, so Berube interviewed for the head coaching position. He's the odds-on favorite to win it, I guess, because everything has to be gambled upon now. Everything. I'm gonna do a counter at some point. Maybe next season I'll have a game where I'm counting how many times we get ads for gambling in between, during the commercial breaks as well as during the game from the announcers in the studio, and just see what the count actually is. I would guess 60. I would guess about between all the commercials and all the times they show all these things on the screen that are gambling related. I'm gonna say 60. So just imagine if they were doing that with alcohol or cigarettes, just what people would be saying. But since it's gambling, that's fine. Anyways, that being said, Berube's the odds-on favorite. There's a debate out there over who should start the game for the Edmonton Oilers in Game 4. I think it has to be Skinner. For the same reason that the Canucks stuck with Shelov's when he had a rough game. It really seemed to send a message like, all right, we know he had a rough game last game. We think he can bounce back in the next one. In the event you go to Calvin Pickard, the message that's being sent is we need to make a change, or we don't really have faith in our goaltender. And Skinner's already shown in these playoffs that when he has a rough night, he can bounce back in the next game. So while there's a debate out there, I think starting Pickard would be a mistake. I think it would send the wrong message. And so I think that putting Skinner in there, showing you have faith in him, is the only way to go if the Oilers want to come back and win this series. I think if they go to Pickard, I think that may very well make the situation worse. But again, we'll see what they decide to do. But I would be very surprised if Skinner's not the starter in the next game. And if between now and then we don't hear a whole bunch of players talking about how great a guy he is and how much they like him and how he has to be the starter. So my guess is they double down on him, and he's their goaltender for the next game. So we do have two games tonight, one at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, one at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. So starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Rangers have their second chance to eliminate the Carolina Hurricanes. They currently lead the series 3-1. Rangers fans, Hedl and Wheeler both spotted at morning skate. So Wheeler, I don't think is anywhere close to returning, but the fact that he's out there at morning skate is fantastic. When he got injured late in the season, there were some that said, that could be career ending. But with the Rangers going on a long run in the playoffs, he very well could return. We shall see. Hedl was out with illness in the last game. Of course, it was illness for Matthews too. And then after the series, they were like, actually, it started out as illness, but then it was another injury. So we just kept saying illness. So I don't know. It's playoffs. You just never know. But Hedl being at morning skate's good news if you're a Rangers fan. On the Carolina side, Jarvis, 4 goals, 4 assists thus far in these playoffs, 8 points. I think this has been great for Jarvis. Even though the Carolina Hurricanes find themselves down 3-1, I think Jarvis has had a really strong playoffs. Marnie Necas, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. Might want a goal out of him. And Freddie Anderson, 897 save percentage. He was very good in Game 4. He's going to have to be excellent tonight. It is MSG. I'm guessing the first 10 minutes are going to be absolutely bonkers. The crowd's going to be really, really noisy, and the Rangers are probably going to be all over them. Lafreniere could be leading the charge. 4 goals, 6 assists for 10 points so far in this postseason. Zibanejad, 3 goals, 10 assists, 13 points in this postseason. And Shesterkin's numbers continue to be excellent. 927 save percentage for him. Although Carolina did solve him a bit in the last game, can they do the same in the next one tonight? Then at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, the Dallas Stars are going to try to give me more and more gray hair, of what I have left of my hair anyways, as they're in against Colorado Avalanche for Game 4. Dallas leads this series 2-1. I think the third game of the series was the best Dallas has played in the series, so we'll see how they do tonight. On the Dallas side, Jamie Benn, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points. A lot of talk about Ben and, suspend him for this and that, dirtiest player in the game. The reality is that, I understand the controversy about the one hit in this series and everything, and people being mad, me not talking about it. But for anybody who wants to say, well, he's a Ben fan because he's a Dallas fan. Well, see, but I have jerseys of Ottinger. I have a jersey for Sagan. If I was going to get a jersey with a player's name on the back now, it'd be Johnston, maybe Hintz, Heiskanen, Robertson. Harley's game is really fun to watch too. I might be have my arm twisted into that if I was going to start collecting Dallas player jerseys. I don't want a Jamie Benn jersey, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Jamie Benn's a player that I have definitely called out in years past. I've had no problem calling him out before. The Mark Stone incident last year, I called him out big time. So yeah. At any rate, he's had 2 goals and 5 assists in these playoffs. Sam Steele, 2 assists. And that line has been working so hard. It would be great to see them rewarded with a goal. But yeah, Steele, he's just got the 2 assists in these playoffs, but he's been all around it lately. Jake Ottinger, 919 save percentage, is going to have to be at the top of his game, especially early, because my guess is Colorado attacks early and often. McKinnon, 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points. He should be kind of ornery tonight himself. And Kivi Ranta is one that I watch every game in this series because he used to be a star. 5 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points, and I'm waiting for another big goal from Kivi Ranta because he's been known to do that in the playoffs. Georgiev, 893 save percentage, good goaltender, not fantastic in these playoffs, but when Colorado's firing on all cylinders, he doesn't have to be. So there's that portion of his game where sometimes he's a little bit shaky, but in the end, as long as you're winning more than you're losing in the playoffs, it's fine. And then there's the officiating debate, which is still out there, and I've used this before. And one of the reasons why I'm not a huge, buying into the officiating debate thing is Arizona, a team that struggled for years on the ice. And if the NHL was going to put their hand on the scales of justice and say, all right, we're going to lean towards this team, yeah, Arizona would have got way better calls from officiating than what they got. And if Arizona had been a winning team and actually made the playoffs in multiple years and looked like they were on their way up, who knows? Maybe they would have had an easier time finding building. Maybe they would have had an easier time getting fans to fill said building than what they had. But again, the officiating debate's been out there forever, and it really does come down to I've always thought that if you are of the mind that the NHL favors one team and they always favor certain teams, I wouldn't watch. And the example I've always used is the NBA. The NBA I was watching a lot when the Vancouver Grizzlies came in, and pretty quickly I realized, because the calls seemed to be different depending on which team came into town, I was like, wow, they didn't get that charging call tonight that they got that night, and now they're being penalized for this. They didn't get penalized for that in the last game. What's going on here? And so I have a really hard time with it. And I haven't had that with the National Hockey League. Sure, there are times where I scratch my head and go, that's a penalty? Really? And I do that now while I'm watching games, but I'm not throwing that on the board. Because again, could there be some bias that's influencing how I see it? Maybe. I don't necessarily think there is. Like when I'm at hockey games, I don't go, oh, these are all penalties for the other team, but Vancouver's, they're all angels. Normally, in fact, when the fans are chanting, ref, you suck, I'm sitting there going, it's the right call. What are you guys doing? It was the right call. I don't understand. Why? But yeah, it's one of those things that's been out there forever. And I've seen people saying, oh, you need to get this merch on your store. I agree. I agree. We do need to have some updated merch on the store about the officiating and fans' opinions on the officiating. So I'll work on getting that done soon here. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.